that one in a tiny bit more. They don't all have to be the same. My stuff, I like it where it isn't all the same. Now, you may like it the opposite. Sometimes if I want to, you know, not do a whole lot, and not leave a much of a bulb or anything, which I don't want a bunch of a bulb. It's still, when I'm doing this, it's still a little bit rolled to one side. And you have to be careful to get the angle of the force exactly right to keep from just breaking off the flake. So I'm reading each flake and each platform or ground area that I'm going to flake. I'm reading them and doing them different depending upon what I'm seeing. And believe it or not, this is still pretty wide. So I probably ought to just bevel all this stuff off and start over. I'm kidding, kind of. So I think I'm at the point where I want to decide what I'm going to do with this base. And I probably should have decided sooner. Too often, bases get dealt with in a way that doesn't make sense for what its purpose is. I'm going to try and avoid that. Again, the sides and creating thickness, fairly short flakes, not really messing with the thickness in the base, because I decided I'm going to get crazy and try and flute the base a little to deal with the thickness and lessen the biconvexity on that end, the way the convexity is on that end. Come on. I'm not flaking all the way down to the end because I don't want to have it thin there. You can bring that in, but if you do, you got to make sure that you don't have thin areas next to it in more, to where when you bring that in, all of a sudden it's in a thinner area that you can't thicken without losing length, unless you don't mind losing length, and then fix everything. But if you're going to play the hand you dealt yourself, then do that. And don't be afraid to get it to where it looks funny with the blade, because you can always do more work on the blade. Bring the blade in to match the base. Or leave it like a Bull Tongue Simpson or something, I don't know. I don't know. I know how to make flakes. Doesn't mean I know how to make points. And you might be asking yourself, well, was there a point in that statement? No, not necessarily. Some of my humor is fairly arcane, obtuse. Oh yeah, yeah. See, the thing you always got to ask yourself is, if you was walking along and just found that sucker laying there, would you pick it up? And if the answer is always yes, then you're a great flint knapper. Right? Sure, why not? So, I mean, I'm going to try and just flute the crap out of this. I mean, I'm just going to wail on this sucker. Maybe. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. If I can take some flakes off the end, I might. I'm just trying to do steep flakes to bring this over towards his face. Of course, that's not enough. But it's better to stop and eyeball it and decide that it ain't enough than to keep going and get too much and then go, hey, look, that's too much. Gonna be a thick flake if I do it from there. Here's the deal. The closer you work toward the center line, the imaginary center line of this thing, the more likely you are to break it. Additionally, the closer you work toward the center line, in theory, the more likely you are to get a tapered, more beveled, shorter flake. That makes total sense from a standpoint of realistic hafting, because most of the time it doesn't seem like there was intention or desire to have really thin anything except like on Folsoms in there, and a lot of the flutes are kind of short and pretty beveled. Now, you have a choice too on how you go about the concept of fluting it, because I can do little guide flakes here and constrain the width of the flake channel, the main flake channel, and then hit that, or I can hit one off to the side a little bit and create another ridge that'll follow better and hit a harder one, and do a double kind of thing, which I kind of like sometimes. I mean, I've done a number of those. But as it is, I think I'm gonna cheat and split the baby. I'm gonna come right to the side of where I would hit and do one little guide flake, one little guide flake there, and one little guide flake there, and not do the other. And you're like, well, why is that? Well, this is my way of getting to mess up and still have a chance, because, so if I hit that center thing and don't like it, without turning the edge again, I still have these little sub platforms that I can sit and hit to widen it or blend what the visual impact is on it. Kind of stupid, but anyway. All right, so 15 minutes. Be right back and we'll do this.